Tony, you have good shooters on this team, but you don't ever come into a game thinking it's going to go like this, do you? That three-point range.
Those guys were terrific in the second half. There's probably, 3 or 4, I don't know, that were like deep. Kyle, I think he's looking at the ground and shot those. That was impressive. And then to have all 3 of them get that hot was good. And, they combined it with really good defense in the second half. I think it was, I don't know if it's quite accurate, but about 14 to 16 stops, where they did miss some shots, but I thought we were better contesting. We had 8 turnovers and 8 offensive rebounds given up in the first half. We tightened that up. And then Ty was so good in the high post, as was DeAndre. And then with Kyle stretching it, and then we put some guys in spots that we thought were maybe would cause some trouble for them if we were making shots. But it's a terrific zone, and we had our night tonight against it shooting, and they were a little off offensively, but that's not to take away anything from the second half. The way our guys they really played well, and they obviously to shoot like that, it's hard to beat a team when a team is clicking that way with not just one guy but 3 guys.
So Syracuse was up 43-42 and you're outscored 37-10 the rest of the way. Can you just explain that?
Yeah, obviously it was the shooting, but it was that stat of the stops. They might have missed a couple open shots, but we didn't give them second chance points. We went with some good length. We had Jay Huff and Mamadi down low, and Mamadi did a good job when he had a guard, their mobile guy. I don't know if the young man, after he hit a 3 and he rolled his ankle, did he come back in? He did? I'm sorry, okay. And I don't know if that affected him, but then DeAndre was really good on the ball individually. And I thought Kyle had a good second half guarding, Coach's son. Buddy, he really worked out in front. Ty did the job. We were collectively good. And then, that paired with the way we were executing our offense made all the difference.
What was your tone at halftime?
We just talked about, we looked at a couple of those stats, the 8 offensive rebounds that we gave up and the 8 turnovers, and said, wow, let's get this thing to how we have to play. It wasn't fire and brimstone. It was nothing like that. It was just, let's get after it. We know, let's just play ball, and we got to get tougher defensively, and we got to clean up a couple of those areas and battle. And similar to a lot of half times.
Coach, how much did you key in on Tyus' battle coming into this one, and how would you evaluate him as you've seen him over the years?
Did you say how much did we key on him? Well, he's the year he's having and how good he can create his own shot. We thought we needed length on him, and then, Kihei's been terrific for us when we put Kihei on him. He actually did a good job a couple times, but you could see he could just use his strength and go right over the tops. We really wanted DeAndre on him as much as possible, and then we even put Ty on Brissett to start. And so we said, let's make him, he's got to hit tough contested shots. Individual slides, defense, what DeAndre did on him, I think was impressive. Tyus is a terrific player. I think he's improved. I think he can manufacture his own shot. And we kind of recruited him. I don't know how much of a chat. We did recruit him. I don't think we had much of a chance because of this area and the job Syracuse did, but heck of a player. And like I said, I know he comes from a really good family and is a good young man and comes from that.
Coach, you mentioned Ty Jerome in the high post. When did you guys kind of decide to put him there and move DeAndre out? And what do you think was so successful?
Yeah, well, we were sliding them both in and out in the possession. We did that in the first half, and just depended on our personnel, who we have on the floor, what we're going to run based against that. But, Ty had 16 points, 14 assists. That's great numbers. But sometimes it was Dre in there. Sometimes it was Kyle a little bit, and Ty. They have some freedom in we have a couple different attacks, but we've used Ty in the past in the high post, just let him, but we had a little bit of letting them mix and match in this, and kept our bigs low. So it was kind of whoever wanted it, and then if at times we pulled, when we got it in there, we'd pull it out and then attack and spread, and had guys in the right spots. And again, when you're shooting like that, you can do a lot of things because they have to honor the way the shooters are going. So it puts you in a predicament, and we've been in that spot before at times. This year it's happened a couple times where it's tough, so that really helped.
Take a couple of that.
But great play from Ty, and that stat line I loved.
Tony, how did you think Ty did on O'Shea, and were you confident that was going to work?
Yeah, well, you hope. We had a double in the post at times when we went down there. You just had to work because we wanted that DeAndre matchup on Tyus. So I think he did a pretty good job fighting, a couple offensive rebounds, but we helped, and it was kind of a collective thing, but he fought for position, and we just, if there was a close ball screen, we would switch it, and, sometimes Ty's big. He's 6'4", he's 6'5". He's good size, 6'5", and so it's not like he's a little guy where they can just go over the top. So I thought he did a solid job. I don't know what the stat line was on and how many points in the paint they scored, but I thought it was worth the matchup for what we were getting on with the other matchups. Okay.
Josh. Tony, Jim Boeheim just said this is the best beating team he's ever seen. You obviously have a lot more you want to do this year.
Sure.
What does it mean to hear that?
Yeah, well, we went, what did we go, 18 to 25 from 3 or 23? So I think that was one of the best Virginia teams in that second half defensively. No, this team has some versatility, and the way we attacked the zone and shot it and guarded. I hope he's right. I've been blessed with some really good teams, and so I think Joe Harris and Malcolm Brogdon and Justin Anderson and those guys might take offense. No, but I've had some really good teams. This team has versatility, and the way they played in that second half, that's about as good as a team that we've had play in this setting against one of Coach's teams. So understandably so that he said that, and I like this team.
Jeff.
Mamadi in the second half looked much more like he's been in recent games. What was kind of the issue with him in the first half?
Well, he just, I don't, in the first half, Pasquale, those guys, they did some good stuff. He wasn't quite, I thought, as alert or in tune as we needed him. And then for whatever reason, and actually, it was more guarding, he guarded more of the 4 in the second half. In the first half, it was a little more of a matchup on the 5, and he it's hard. You got to be physical and block out with your lower body against it's Pasquale. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Pascal, he's a good young man too. But the ability to do that, and I thought we gave up some offensive rebounds, just were a little alert, missed maybe a finish, and then he really did the job in the second half when he matched up on the 4, whether it was Brissett or whoever he was on. So he was locked in, and Jay and him looked good, with the length and the rebounding.
Okay, last one.
Coach Boeheim said he's never been involved in a game where opponents shot the three-point.
Right.
Does a coach become a fan? Like, do you ever shake your head saying, "Holy cow, I can't believe this guy"?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of those shots that Kyle hit where, like he's looking down and he went up, and I've seen him do that in practice, and I know Ty's range, and then Dre was, making plays. It was impressive, and I was equally as excited about the defense. So, no, I mean, you're playing the possession. I know how Syracuse, they can press you, they can turn things around. We've been on the receiving end of that a few too many times. No, I certainly enjoyed the performance, the complete performance the second half.